If you haven't already heard, Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized, a podcast that focuses on helping you create space to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor. I want to say hello if you're a regular listener and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you are having a great week. And if you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave a review. And also, there are now 2 ways you can support this podcast individually by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link or as a business. And either way, I will give you a shout out on the air. Details for both are in the show page. Well, I am excited because in this episode, Dr. Wendy Coulson of My Body Passport will be sharing the importance during Breast Cancer Awareness Month that we must have our health information organized. I can't wait for you to hear that conversation. And I will be sharing my product, app, repurpose, and book suggestion for the week. And my question for you this week is your health information organized? Do you just have the portal? Do you have a filing system? I would love for you to share that with me. And this is just a fact that I found out about, and these are some top health statistics, which just astound me. And it says medical billing errors cost Americans, and I'm thinking this must be 210. This must be in the trillions, because I'm looking at all the zeros. But then, as many as 80% of medical bills contain at least one error, which is very important because one of the things I do with one client is we go through monthly all of her bills, etc., and that's part of it. And then I will open up the mail and then we'll kind of review things, and then she will actually call and find out like what is this bill, and then then she'll have a conversation with them and find out, well, you know what, it looks like your insurance company has not been responded yet, so just wait. And I think a lot of times we need to do that. I used to organize my mother's bills, and I had to do that because in her mind, and this was, later on in life, right before she passed away, in her mind, when she saw a bill, she had to pay it. And I had to say, you just have to wait until the insurance company kind of works things out. And even then, sometimes ask questions. But I'm excited because returning is Dr. Wendy Coulson. She believes in creating simple and elegant solutions to big problems. And that summarizes Dr. Wendy's career, both as an engineer and an inventor. And here's one such problem. How do I keep track of my health? Dr. Wendy invented the My Body Passport to not only keep track of your health records and history, but to create your own health strategy. And of course, I first met Dr. Wendy Coulson and My Body Passport about 6 years ago. So I want you to sit back. I want you to take some notes, and I want you to really begin to think of how you can create your own, track your own health, but also create a strategy on how you can manage your health by listening to my conversation with Dr. Wendy. Well, hello, listeners. As you know, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I really wanted to bring Wendy Coulson back. And she created the My Body Passport because it's important for us as women, but all of you listeners, to really organize your medical information because it really empowers you to take care of your health. So, Wendy, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you for having me on, Janet.
So, Wendy, before we start talking about really the My Body Passport and the importance of really organizing our health information, tell listeners your passion about the My Body Passport.
So there are a couple things that I really I am very passionate about, and that is one of them is what are you going to do in an emergency, and the other is what are you doing on the daily to control your health. And My Body Passport addresses both of these. I've been in both of the situations where there's been an emergency and I needed my health information accurately communicated, and having it available in a very simple and shareable format was incredible. And I'm very passionate because I wouldn't want anyone in an emergency not to be able to get the best care possible. And the second part about taking control of our health, the statistics that are on things like hypertension or diabetes, if you look it up, there's like 87 million people, adults in the United States, who have uncontrolled high blood pressure. There's about 75 million people with prediabetes who don't know it. The numbers are alarming, but those alarming statistics aren't enough to promote action. And so having a very simple personal tool to take control of your own health and look at your own numbers is something that, again, I'm passionate about health in general, and having something that's very personal and approachable is really important to me.
And, it's interesting because you just kind of touched on the next question, the importance of us to organize the information, because we have so much information. And as I was sharing with you earlier, is that even I sometimes have to really kind of check my book, my Body Passport, which is on my refrigerator, just to kind of make sure I'm on track. Sometimes I forget maybe, if I've had, because I'm taking so many different shots and vaccinations and inoculations right now. And even, when I received that message that it was time for the colonoscopy, it was really nice to be able to think, wait a minute, is it really? And to go to my Body Passport, my own one, personal one, open it up and see when the last time I had one, and then also have that paperwork organized. And I was able to just kind of share that with the doctor. And then she sent me a message. She's like, oh, yeah, okay, fine. Then it's not time for you. But, in your opinion and also your experience, because I know, you've shared some of the experiences of people in your life of the importance of really organizing the health information.
Yeah, and just for the listeners, so what we did with My Body Passport, it's for your entire body. So I know, your primary care physician may have certain information about you, and your cardiologist may have other information, and your oncologist has yet a different set. Your dentist has another set, and your optometrist has another set. Your counselor has another set, and on. Your physical therapist. So you've got probably lots of portals and lots of passwords. And what we did is we put it all into one comprehensive booklet. And again, as Janet mentioned, it's paper. It comes in a magnetic pouch that can go on your refrigerator. And it's easy to take with you on your appointments, to fill out real time, and then to share. And the sharing can come into play when you say you happen to be moving locations and you need to share your information and fill out all those forms at a new healthcare provider. Or there's an emergency, you need to share an updated list of your meds with the first responders that come to your house. So having not just access through some portal, but immediate access at your fingertips where you personally can cross-reference, or somebody who's caring for you can cross-reference, is just super, super important. It gives you, I found, I just have a real peace of mind knowing that I know where my information is. And I also, it's a way to hold myself accountable to keep up to date on my information and my health maintenance.
And I like that point that you made, because there are so many different portals. There's really no one portal that has everything, because right now I'm at the eye doctor. I've got my annual with my, my general practitioner. But then, I also do the mammograms, and even though it's the same hospital, but still sometimes all of that information is completely different. And it's all those different types of doctors, and sometimes they prescribe different types of medication. I'm on allergy medication. Now they're talking about, does Janet need drops for her eyes? So then that'll be something else that I'll have to think about. But it's like one comprehensive, place that you can go, and you can just write it in and keep track and always pull it up. You don't have to worry about, having internet access, remembering a password. You can always just open it up. So how can we, in your opinion, make this part of like a family tradition and routine? Because I find with the My Body Passport, it allows you to really see your history. And I think, at least I know in my culture, medical history is not often shared. A lot of times people keep secrets. You don't find out until it's the worst case scenario. And so how can we use this as a tool to not only manage our own health, but also maybe prevent the next generation from getting a little, sufferings from some of this stuff?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It is interesting how different cultures address medicine in general, or view going to the doctor, or have home remedies, or whatever it may be. What I've noticed right now, we're in 2022, and there's a really pressing need for community based on what we globally have been through in the past couple of years. And that community could be you and your girlfriends really being vulnerable and saying, let's take care of ourselves, and let's just take some time and figure this out and get ourselves started. It could be, if you have children at home, you can start them out with one, and that way, as they go to the regular visits, you can just keep it going, and then when they leave the house, they've got this history that they can take with them. If you have an older person who needs care, you might have to fill it out for them to start with. But I found when I was interacting with my father as he was in his 90s, he had, as you mentioned, lots of doctors. And so just being able to even look at this and talk about the doctors by name, because we could just sit and look through the book and talk about it. So I think looking at it as a way to have community, you're actually talking to someone about something of a significant substance. And then also it builds community with your caregiver. So your healthcare provider, if you walk in with your book, and it's filled out, and you have questions regarding your own numbers or your own patterns, it gives them an opportunity to speak with you in a way that builds a deeper sense of community. And so I think if it's looked at as that perspective, whether it's you and your doctor because you don't really want to share information with anyone, or people who are caregivers that you caregive for, or vice versa. So I think that perspective can build it into our lifestyles.
And I like that, because I take the book, My Body Passport, with me when I just see my doctor. I pull it out while she's looking on her laptop and asking me all kind of questions. I pull it out. But also, as you were talking, I remember something someone shared with me in regards to just her family. And she said she just decided to just share with her mother, let's not have any more secrets. Let's just really be open about our health and what's going on. And I think sometimes just starting a conversation like that would be great. But also it would be nice if you had the My Body Passport. And of course, I'm going to have a link in the show page so that you can see the different varieties that Wendy offers, so that if you want to get one for your child, or if you want to get from for an older adult, you'll be able to see the different versions that they offer as well. So I'll make sure I put that. So Wendy, I wanted you to kind of share like how some of the members of your family are using it, because I remember you told me a story about your mom and how she uses the My Body Passport. I love this story.
So my mom is in her 80s and extremely healthy, and she has an aptitude to be organized. So she was a very eager early adopter of My Body Passport, and now has multiple years worth of information available to herself on her fridge. And so at one time I was visiting her, and she was on the phone with the doctor, and they were discussing some test results. And so she was able to give them the date, the result, and the procedure before they could find it on their computer. And she, so from her perspective, just having that readily available gave her the opportunity to advocate for herself and make sure there were not mistakes, and to really be on top of all the multiple doctors, because in her 80s, you always do have lots of doctors. It's the way it is. But she was able to keep on track of that.
I love hearing that story every single time, just how she has truly embraced it. And like you said, not everybody is comfortable with the portals. So it's really nice to have an alternative that really kind of documents every single thing that we have going on. And again, all those portals, you have a portal for the eye doctor and a portal for your general practitioner, and they don't always, connect. So you need something where everything that is going on with your health and the medical background is in one place. So Wendy, because I can talk to you forever, how can listeners connect with you?
Just one quick thing to add to what you were saying. So I know one benefit of having things on the computer is you can just click on a menu and drop down and click, and you do not have to write a lot. So what we did is we pre-filled out many forms in My Body Passport. So all you have to do is check a box. So for example, if you look at the family history page, you don't have a blank page where you have to write in the history. We have made an extensive list with check-a-boxes, and you just have to go down and check the box that applies. So I did want to point out this feature because it is very convenient to have to just point and click on a computer. So we tried to match that convenience with the format of My Body Passport.
And I can agree with that as well, because it is easy. Basically, you have it set up so every year, all you have to do is just kind of go down the list. Okay, I had my colonoscopy. This is the year. And then, okay, this was the result. Okay, my eye exam. These are the different, numbers for my left eye, my right eye. They dilated me this time. They didn't dilate me. These are the results. And even when you have your blood test, everything is already listed, and all you have to do is just kind of put the numbers in, so you can actually see over a period of whether it's a couple of years or several years how things look. And then even with your weight, I realized how much weight I was gaining every year. So it was like, okay, yeah, that's part of just me, the pandemic and everything else as part of life. But at least because I would go to the doctor and I was like, well, what is she talking about? That's my weight. But then I started looking and I'm like, well, of course, because I keep gaining weight every year. So yes. So again, Wendy, how can listeners connect with you?
Yes. So you can go to our website at mybodypassport.com, or follow on Instagram at mybodypassport, and feel free to direct message me.
And of course, listeners, I will have a direct link on the show page to Wendy, so you can connect with her directly. So again, Wendy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Janet.
Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Dr. Wendy. What was your takeaway? I enjoy talking with her because she's so passionate about truly helping all of us be more organized, specifically when it comes to our medical and health information. So now I just wanted to kind of follow up with a few tips from my Taylor's Tip time. Number one, decide on how you will keep your health and medical information. Filing cabinet, the virtual vault. We have portals, we got binders. How are you going to organize it? Number two, decide what you need to keep. Test results, medical records, maybe just a list of your doctors would be helpful. Number three, purge. Get rid of everything that you need to let go of. It could be something, there's no reason for me to hold on to any childhood test. Now, of course, I do have that one little piece of paper that kind of lists all the different inoculations I got when I was a baby. I'm holding on to that. Yes, it's sentimental. But other than that, all of the other stuff can go. And number four, organize. How are you going to organize it? I always really ask you how you're going to keep track of it, but how are you going to organize it? It's going to be in file folders. Are you going to upload it to a drive? Are you going to actually get a My Body Passport and document it like that? And of course, you want to maintain it. So every time you go get a test result, the doctor gives you a piece of paper, decide what you need to keep, where you're going to put it, and how you're going to just kind of stay on top of your medical records, because it's important. Hospitals, doctors have our medical records. It's important for you to have them as well. And as an organizer, I see firsthand what happens when people really don't organize their life. So I work with a client and we actually meet in person. And one of the things is I open up her mail, but I also make sure, she reads it, she checks it, and she saw a bill and she didn't understand it. She called and found out that the insurance company had not been billed yet, so therefore she was not to even pay any attention to that. And sometimes you need to hear that so you don't have to worry about it, because I remember my mother, and which was one of the reasons why I took over managing her mail and her bills, is that when she saw a bill come in, she immediately paid it. And I said, you have to wait until, the insurance company is paid and see what they're going to cover, and then we pay the bill. So that is one of the reasons why it's important to really, truly have that portion of your life organized. But also, I offer products to help you digitize those important documents, but you can also organize and protect them. There's links in the show page. And of course, I can help you virtually, because that same client who I go on site and we, organize things monthly. One time, because of the weather, it was extremely hot here. We had a heat wave, and, we always, and when we were meeting, she said, Janet, there's an issue with the air condition. It's extremely hot, and we're always on the third floor, and, heat rises. She's like, so, you know what? We need to figure out another way. I said, we can do it virtually, and we did it. We did it virtually, and because we had been doing it so long together, it just was a process. We went from one thing to the next to the next. So go to my contact page and schedule a free 15-minute session so I can help you organize those estate documents, medical information, property information, but also product information, because maybe you have a lot of different items throughout your home. So take the steps necessary and start by doing something today. click the link in the show page. I want to take a moment just to say thank you. Thank you for following me on social media, for your likes, your retweets, for your sharing. And please continue to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Pinterest. Check out the Organized Papers board. And please like and share. And don't forget to follow me on YouTube as well and subscribe. And of course, check out my website. And for those of you thinking of getting your life organized, don't get overwhelmed. Join my Facebook group, Living Life Totally Organized. It's a community of women supporting each other on their journey to living a life that is totally organized. It's free to join. I created this group so that you can have like one-on-one connection with me. So you can pose a question, post a photo, post a video. I like videos because videos allow me to see. Videos allow me to kind of have a look at how you function, how you operate. Because maybe you do like taking your shoes off at the door. So there's really no reason to kind of create this system in your closet. It may just be having a shoe rack, or some people are now really organizing their shoes by the door. So when they leave, they can just grab them and then put them on and go. So, click the link in the show page. And of course, what time is it? I can hear you doing I can almost sense you doing your jig because I'm doing mine. And it's Toss It Tuesday. So I want you to get rid of all of those brochures and things that you collected over years, and you've moved on to some other type of information in regards to your health and medical well-being. So let's toss those and shred all the old medical information you no longer need. And of course, my app suggestion is Futucate. It empowers you to achieve your health, diet, and fitness goals. So check that out. My product suggestion for the week is the My Body Passport. I have two. I have one that's on my refrigerator, and it's a comprehensive history of all of my tests, the blood levels, blood pressure, weight, all of that in one location, and including when I go to the eye and all of my others, doctors. But I also have a smaller version that I take with me when I travel. And actually now I make sure all of the friends I travel with have one, because all I want to know is, are you on any medication? Do you have any allergies? And have you had any recent surgeries? Which is what they ask when you do go to an emergency room. Because we've had situations where we've had nosebleeds. I remember my bestie and I, we were actually traveling. She went into the bathroom to take a shower. Next thing I know, I hear her screaming because she hurt her ankle. So you just never know. It's those little things, but you want to be prepared. So there's going to be a link in the show page, and they are from, if you're a baby boomer, if you're a millennial, if you're a Gen Z, there is a version for you. And because we are on almost near the holiday season, why not get two and give one as a gift for somebody? My repurpose suggestion is popcorn tins, because we are all working on eating a little healthier. Maybe you get those huge popcorn tins, and actually now my mouth is watering thinking about the popcorn. Reuse them. Some people are using them to put pet food in. So check that out on my repurpose page. My book selection for this week is Feeding the Soul, because it's my business. Finding Our Way to Joy, Love, and Freedom, Tabitha Brown. Again, Feeding the Soul, because it's my business. Feeding Our Way to Joy, Love, and Freedom, Tabitha Brown. And of course, you can get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. And again, you can get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. Just click the link in the show page. And my quote for this week is, healthy is an outfit that looks different on everyone. I'm going to say that again. Healthy is an outfit that looks different on everyone. I saw that quote and it made me think about one time when someone shared with me that I needed to eat more because I was thin. I had a father who was tall and thin, a mother who was tall and thin, and that was just in my genes. Now I'm a little, I put on a little bit more weight, but I was eating healthy. And the reason, and I shared with her, and I didn't mean it, but it just like when people say things like this, sometimes you just want to like, wait a minute. And I shared with them, I can walk up a flight of steps without breathing heavy, and I'm on no medication. So I feel right now I'm good. I'm healthy. So I just wanted to share that with you. So again, healthy is an outfit that looks different on everybody. Well, I want to thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media network. And again, let me know you enjoy listening to this podcast by leaving a review. And of course, you can support this podcast. And the links are on the show page. So again, visit my website at www.janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, I want you to have a clutter-free day. And most of all, make sure you have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.